So the other day, I'm in a hurry at lunchtime, and I decide to go through one of those drive-through restaurants. It's raining, and I'm talking to the attendant, trying to understand what she's saying as the rain is coming in the window, that what I want to order is not prepared right now, and it'll take an extra 10 minutes to get it. So I just order something else, I pull around, and when I went up there, I kind of scolded her. I wasn't mad, but I was sharp, and I said, "Hey, you need to tell those chefs in the kitchen that it's the first part of lunch hour. They can't be running out of food like this." And she said, "Yeah, I understand, but today we're short-handed and down to only one chef." Well, first I felt like a nag, and then second, once I understood they were short-handed, I changed my expectations. Expectations. During this COVID-19 pandemic, we may have some expectations that when they're not met, we may get impatient. So in this session, I want to look at the relationship between expectations and patience. During this period of isolation due to COVID-19, Reboot Camp is designed to replenish us and get us ready to go out into the world again with a new faithful attitude. I'm suggesting that by resetting our faith, we can also reset how we approach the world and make it a better place. Cecil Taylor Ministries is focused on teaching Christians how to live a practical 7-day faith. So in each devotional, I will state a faith problem and recommend a remedy and how to put it into practice. This is number 2 of the 12-part series. We get impatient when our expectations are not met. How long something is supposed to take. How other drivers should be driving. What another person should or should not be doing. It's not wrong to have expectations, but when we don't manage our expectations, we can get impatient. Take this COVID-19 pandemic. We all have some expectation maybe of how long it might take. Maybe you think it'll take 2 weeks to get back to normal, maybe a month, maybe it's longer, but let's use a month. So let's say that after a month, things are not back to normal. Dates are not being met. Expectations are not being met. Impatience can wear on us, and our patience can wear thin. What do you think? It's very plausible, right? That the longer this drags on, the more impatient people might get. How can we, during this impatient time, develop patience and make it part of our lives going forward? I have 2 practical suggestions for you, and they're both tied to the meaning of the word patience. Now, the very word patience from Latin means active choice or ability to endure suffering. Literally, it means quality of suffering. So patience is tied to endurance, to a willingness to endure suffering, to having a certain attitude during the time of suffering, to have a better quality of suffering, to suffer better. Our current situation is a good opportunity to practice suffering better. How can we suffer better and have a different attitude? How can we have more flexible expectations? I went to the store yesterday expecting to buy low-fat milk, but all the shelves were cleared out of practically every kind of milk, except there was a little bit of whole milk left. Well, it didn't meet my expectation, and I'm having to suffer a little bit by drinking whole milk, but it's not worth getting impatient over. I changed my expectations. The second definition comes from Paul's description of patience in the fruits of the Spirit list, and the word he uses in the Greek is makrothumia, which means slow anger or long fuse. I find it fascinating that the word anger is embedded in the meaning of patience. It doesn't mean that a person never gets angry. It just means that a patient person is able to have a slower fuse. They manage their anger. It takes more time for them to get angry or a greater offense to stir them up. Taken together, the overall message that I have for you is through 2 very practical thoughts based on these definitions. Let us gain endurance and suffer better. And let us have a longer fuse and slow our anger so that we take more time with it. We may even give it a chance to dissipate before we display that anger. There's no doubt in my mind that during this COVID-19 pandemic, you're going to have opportunities to lose your patience because expectations are not met. So let's work on lengthening our patience, developing patience that we can take back out when our lives turn back to normal. It'll make a difference in your life and in the world around you.